education is an industry. It has become an industry. It's an industrialized thing now where we are, it's like a factory
Yeah.
turning out, turning out, turning out. So it's all about looking the same, speaking the same language. You want them to get all get the same grades, all do the same subjects. So, that's the sort of thing we have. But
Mhm.
the society is evolving, and it's evolving at a pace that education is not keeping up with. We can respond to the shift in culture,
Mhm.
or we can become drivers of the culture.
Mhm.
Yeah. If you keep responding, you're always going to be playing catch up.
For centuries, people have left their homes, friends, and loved ones with their goals in mind and their dreams in heart, searching for the American dream. What we don't know is the journey behind these stories. So come along with me as we explore and bring light to their stories on my journey to America.
All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to the podcast, the My Journey to America podcast. But this time we're coming out of UK. We're coming out of UK, and we have the man himself, Mr. Astor Tate. And we're going to be in for a very riveting, intellectual, talk some soccer, growing up, childhood, the world works on this podcast. Astor, say hi to the people, them now.
Yes, greetings everyone. It's a joy, it's a pleasure to be on, to connect with you again, Kevin. Been a long time since we have had any kind of conversation, and I
Wow.
remember back in the day we used to have all type of conversation. You always take it to a next level, yeah,
Yeah.
which is something that we always look forward to. So it's definitely a privilege, and I find it also a joy to
Yes.
connect with you again and to be able to share with your viewers and your listeners.
Yes. Yeah, man. Maximum respect. Asta, we could go back though from we're growing up in Dux's district, Point Hill. I know what was that like for me
Yeah.
growing up. You know, it was so small where literally every day I saw you. You know what I mean? Literally every day. You know,
Hey, before you go any further, I think you need to do one of these episodes with myself, Andre, and Gratan,
it's a done
You
deal.
need to get you need to get the three of us on at once.
We're going to have it happen. We're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. But what was it like for you though, growing up in Point Hill though?
You
Looking
know,
back on the journey. Because eyesight is 2020. Hindsight is 2020.
it's funny you say that the community was small.
Yeah.
Before before you said, that, well, we'd see each other every day. But it's now that it looks small to us.
Yes. Yes.
Because when we were growing up, it never really looked small.
Yeah.
To get from up my house to come all the way down to your house was a good jump.
Yeah.
But now it looks like it's something you do in 2 minutes, really.
2 minutes. Yeah.
It wasn't all of that small, to be honest, when we were growing up. But it was just this vast space. Because if we come by you now and play for a while, and then go behind and go to the river,
Yeah.
that was like a journey.
Yes,
You
man.
know, that was like a journey. But yeah,
Biblical days type stuff.
yeah. But
Uh-huh.
the thing about that community, when we look on our kids growing up now, and we look at how we grew up then, we see that there's such a vast difference
Yeah.
in terms of culture and the experience that they're having now versus what we had then. Because back then, someone like now would be outside every day,
100%. Yeah.
every day, and
Eh,
we play every sport possible
Yeah.
every day. And then when we're finished, we go to the river, and
Yeah.
we spend a long time. When you're coming back from the river, you're white.
I was just telling somebody that we had to wet up our skin because when
Yeah,
we beaten virgin grandma used to fret, say a river we go swim.
yes.
Yeah, they like them never like that because
Yeah,
then
they were always afraid of it, always afraid of it, because accidents can happen. But
oh yeah.
fortunately, not I can't recall any
There was
serious
one.
accidents.
Remember we lost a girl in Kelisha Anderson
Yes.
from down a roaring river there, and they left school, teachers, and she never make it, so they were but other than that, it was just a fun growing up in it. Now let me ask you a question though. Do you think that because would you blame parents for it? Because here's the thing, our grandparents, our mom, dad never had to compete with this thing called the internet. They never had to compete with this thing called video game and all these things. So, do you think we get it wrong, or it's just a new time?
But what you have to remember though, if you consider your peers who grew up in the urban areas, because when you went to high school or when we went to high school, we met kids who were watching cable
Mm-hmm.
and who had all sorts of Nintendo and video games.
Yes.
So that was a different shift for us, because when we went there, we met people who had these things. If you would visit relatives or when family members would visit from abroad, you'd see that they're exposed to something that we didn't necessarily have access to at the time.
Yeah.
So we didn't have that competition, but other people within Jamaica had that.
Yeah.
But for us, we just had outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
All we had nothing inside that would keep us. You know, if you had a television, the only time you're gonna watch it is maybe between 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're gonna watch 1 hour television with the cartoons coming on. That was it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else you're gonna be watching. There's nothing else on television that we are gonna be watching.
Yeah.
So that's like 1 hour in the evening. But for the rest of the day, we're outside playing. And one of the things now that I love football so much, I always remember we're right where your father's shop is.
Yes.
Because that's one of the places where it all started.
Yeah, man.
Right there and next and right across from there where
Yeah, now.
Yeah, houses. That's the place, that's the birth of
Yeah.
football for us.
Yeah.
Basketball. Do you remember basketball on the tree?
Can never forget it.
Yeah.
The
I don't
bicycle rim on the tree.
many of the viewers, our listeners might remember, but for those who don't know, we used to play football in a small little patch of ground, stones, very little grass,
I tell you.
dirt, and then we'll convert that ground to a basketball court by putting a hoop up on the tree.
Yeah.
And that was it. And we'd play for hours.
Mm-hmm. Which leads me to one point. We still had the music, right? We still had the music. We hear the music. But nowadays, you have a different set of generation with a different type of music, sending a different message, whether subliminally or directly. I think it's mostly directly. And then the youths gravitate to it, because when you go to the country, Astor, most of them pants under them bottom. Most of them are bleach out. Oh, we never do that.
The funny thing is, I don't know. If you do a proper evaluation of the music that we grew up with, dancehall was just coming into force, really. It was just becoming force to be reckoned with. If you think of 91, 92, up to about 95, it was just coming out. Because you had, you coming from Megabant and these guys, but we really started to hear Buju. And Shabba.
And then we
would have heard, and then Bounty Killer and Beanie Man came on as well during that time. So, but the thing is, we only had access to them through radio.
Through radio. Oh, I see.
Or if not through radio, we would have access to them maybe when there's a dance set up, or at Christmas time when you'd have a lot of music being played. But outside that, we are not really exposed to it, so we never had so much exposure to the music then.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that we have to look at now, as well as the visual media is another thing.
Yeah.
These younger persons have access to the audio and the visual media, which we never had access to. So the influence is far greater now than then.
Yes.
If you think about pulling down the pants, that's something that we never grew up with.
Yeah.
You remember going to school, we would even put a string in the shirt just to make sure it stays in.
Yes. Yes.
That's where we were coming from. So
Yes.
we never knew of pulling down the trousers and
Yeah.
things like that. There were other things that we would do, in terms of mimicking, those who we considered to be, swag or
Yeah.
trendy. Other little things we would do. But
But it wasn't like this.
it wasn't like this. It wasn't
We
like
want to
this.
go to the point where we would literally bleach our skin.
And I think we might have known. I knew one person. When I went to high school, I met one person who did that. So all my years, I would say up till about 15, I didn't know anyone
Yeah.
who bleached.
Yeah.
It was after, maybe I think I was in about fourth form, when that guy he accidentally bleached because he was using a soap for pimples on his face and spots, and
Yeah.
it bleached the entire face. But outside of that, I've never encountered it before. When I went to another high school, went to Jose Marti, there was one guy who we knew who bleached. Just one guy. I would have never seen it before.
Oh, yeah, because you went to sixth form at Jose Marti.
No, man.
No. Which high school? You never went to Jago?
I did sixth one.
You never went to Jago?
Yeah, man. I did San Diego first and then went to Jose Marti afterwards.
Oh, you did a split.
No, man. I did a repeat at Jose Marti.
Oh, okay. I see. Which brings me to the next point. So last year there was a poll, there was a study done, and it proved that 31% of Jamaica is only passing maths, English, and the sciences. As a teacher, and you have been on both sides of the spectrum, I've only been on one side as a student. What do you think contributes to that? And what can we do to change that? Because come on, maths, English, and science, those are the mecca of anything. Even though there's so much way to make money now. So speak about that.
All right. So there are a number of factors that will contribute to low performance within these areas. And it will take us an inordinate amount of time to really expunge all the issues. But one of the main drivers of low performance in students is the parent contribution.
Yeah, common
Because
denominator.
if you haven't got that driver in the home coming from that parent who is doing a number of things, who is setting the example, who is establishing routines, who is speaking positively into the life of the child, who is motivating the child, who is keeping them accountable and ensuring that the work is being done by the child. If you haven't got that going, then you're leaving everything really on the teacher at school. And you find that those children who come from a home where the parents or parent is heavily invested in the child's education, they perform better. That's something we'll see right across the board. They will perform better. That's not to say that you haven't got the anomalies where people who haven't got a parent who, survive the odds and surmount the obstacles and perform well. But those are in the minority. What we have seen is that when you have a strong home situation, children tend to perform better. So if you haven't got that, if you haven't got that structure, if you haven't got that system in place from home, then it's going to be a tall order to get that child to perform really well.
Because it creates a more strain on the teacher.
It creates a greater strain on the teacher now because the teacher will have to now double up efforts. But it's difficult. It's difficult because what you're faced with now is a situation in which cost of living is so much, and we have a prevailing norm in terms of what success looks like, and we believe that there are certain things that we must acquire or obtain in order to be considered successful. And because of this, it drives what we do as a family. So it means that both parents are going to work. When we were growing up, we know one of our parents more than likely never did as much work as the other. So we had access to one parent more than the other. That's how it is. Or on the additional point, the grandparents. So if it is that your parents weren't there, grandparents were,
yeah.
so you had that structure, you had that system in place to help you through those years. And so what you find now is because of the economics, children are really left to themselves and devices. So without the early foundation being set, it's difficult then for that child to make progress because you haven't got the pillars on which to rest anything. So you haven't got that routine, you haven't got that attitude, you haven't got that drive to really take academics and push it to the next level. So you find a lot of kids come out with average grades. But when you go to certain schools, if you just do an anecdotal research, you'll see what type of homes the students are coming from. And I always say, if you want to see a measure of what's really happening in student life, when you have a parent-teachers meeting, when you have a report day, look at the percentage of parents who come. Because anyhow you've got a low uptake, you know you have a problem. Any school that has a low uptake of parent, limited parental involvement, you have a problem.
But also, Astor, wasn't like failing in our time was like a shameful thing.
But I keep telling students I teach now, I don't think they understand this.
Yeah.
For us, I don't think they understand this about us, that we never wanted to fail. And we never needed parents or anyone else.
Yeah.
It's just amongst us, as students, we did not want to fail.
Yeah.
So it's not about how embarrassing it would be for your parents or your grandparents. Or it wasn't about that. It was just about you personally having pride in success and in excellence, where you did not want to fail. But these kids nowadays, failing is not a problem.
It's normal.
It's accepted. It does nothing. It would motivate us. It would make us feel sick.
Yeah.
They're indifferent to it.
Do you think, though, with the advent of technology and social media and video games and stuff like that, the easy accessibility, do you think that these kids are being victims?
No, funny enough, I was listening to something today, and one of the things I've seen is education is really it's an industry. Education is an industry. It has become an industry. It's an industrialized thing now where we are, it's like a factory, turning out. So it's all about looking the same, speaking the same language. You want them to get all get the same grades, all do the same subjects. So, that's the sort of thing we have. But the society is evolving, and it's evolving at a pace that education is not keeping up with.
Yeah. Wow.
And so one of
So
the
you're
things
saying the whole economics has changed.
it's changing. Everything is shifting.
Landscape of economics has changed.
And then think about it. Some of the things now that we're training students for will become obsolete by the time they reach university.
You know that you're a teacher, right?
Well, I'm telling you.
And as you just said.
But I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So we have, and this is one of the things that we have to begin to do. We have to begin to do one of two things. We can respond to the shift in culture, or we can become drivers of the culture. Yeah. If you keep responding, you're always going to be playing catch up.
Yes.
So if you don't become a driver, in a leader in changing culture, then you're going to be in problems. And so this is what education has to become now. You have to be on the front foot. You have to think of where the world is and where is the world going. So if it's computer that's taking over, software engineering that's taking over, this is what's going to be driving now the development, the economics are right across the world. Okay, how do we tap into this?
Yes.
How do we now merge all of what we've been doing, all of that analog that we have there, that we've been using over these years? How do we make it digital? Yeah. How do we merge computer with all of what we've been doing? So whether it be the sciences, whether it be agriculture, whether it be home economics, clothing and textile, how do we merge the technology with all of this within the school system? Because you've got to begin to do that now. Yeah. But equally, we must recognize and fight for
Mm-hmm.
a space outside of the technology.
True.
Because
It's growing such a rapid
easily
rate.
we could find ourselves now just become so programmed and automated that we don't even feel anymore.
Yeah.
Because what? We don't spend time with each other anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As simple as going out to play, we don't do that anymore. Why? Because we're gonna sit down before a screen.
Yeah.
So whilst we want to make those advances with technology, we still have to try to safeguard the human element in all of this and cater to the human experience in all of this and not allow ourselves to be completely lost.
True.
But we have to try to find the balance in all of this. So, so just like in school, if you're going to look at it in school, yes, you want to incorporate technology in all of what we're doing, but save time for the students to play.
Yeah.
Make time for the students to play. We got PE. PE still done. That should be something that's mandatory.
PE.
Right? From year 7, from kindergarten all the way up to 6th form.
Because it's a time where you come together. We used to look forward for PE, not so much for the playing, but you really get to vibe with each other. You know what I mean? See a different side of it. But let me ask you a question, though, a follow-up question. If it is that 31% of the students are passing maths and English and the sciences, according to this international research, don't you think that we have to look at the messenger too? Because it's not if 70% was passing Astor, we don't need to look at the messenger. I'm not saying, but I'm putting it on you as a teacher. Isn't it for us to look at the messenger?
What's the source of this again?
Huh?
The source of the data again?
I don't remember. It's an international body. It came out last.
Where did they do? And what territory did they?
They did almost every country you can think of. But for Jamaica was passing 31% was passing maths, English, and the science.
Okay, all right.
It was an international body. It's not a local.
No. At what level? You're talking about high school level?
Yes, high school level.
All right.
I mean, understand your question when you ask about the source.
No. When I said no, man, I wanted to know really the territory. Where were they looking about? Now that we know that it's contextualized to Jamaica, I can speak now to that. What you have to remember, you see, what happens between ages 3 to 6, yeah, affects everything else. True. So we have not had that large investment in early childhood education in Jamaica.
Yeah.
One of the things that had happened is that they had pushed a lot of money into tertiary level education.
Yeah.
And now they are reducing that funding, but I don't know where that excess money is going. Yeah. But what really needed to have happened is that funding needs to shift. And I don't know if you need to shift it really, but we need to find extra funding to put into early childhood education. Because if you miss those early years, then you're playing catch up for the rest of the time. And that's where the crucial stage is. If you don't have that foundation in your basic school, and when we say foundation, we mean every aspect of the child being catered to, so that they're hitting all the markers. Including if you have that going, if you don't have that going, then you're gonna have problems. So by the time you get to you get to grade 4, you're gonna do the test they do at grade 4 before they go to the test. Right. But you really needed to have done was to make sure that they don't start grade 1 without hitting all of those key markers.
Yeah.
And once that is settled, then you can begin to make progress with them. So you see, and the thing is also, we have a fixation with the GSAT. Or what's it called now? PEP? Is it what's it called now? Whatever it's called now.
PEP, yeah.
We have a fixation with these things. And that's why I say we have become an industrialized education system. It's all about, it's like we're just producing this product. You're just producing this product.
So you're saying that you're saying that if a student don't pass PEP, it's not the end of the world. You and I know that.
But it's not taught like that, because
It's
if the
not taught
product
like
if the product isn't proper, we think there's a problem.
because
You
we
know,
make
if the
the
product
student.
if one of the product doesn't come out looking like the rest of the products, oh
Yeah.
something is
Because
something
the
is wrong.
student is led to believe that they are not good enough.
Yes. So see, so one of the things we have to look at is, as I've said, we have to get more funding into early childhood education. And once we can do that, because even nutrition at that early stage,
It's
you know,
important.
it's vital.
Yeah.
So funding must go into to help with the, you think about the environment,
Yeah.
think about the physical infrastructure. What does our early years look like physically? What's the nutrition like? What's the training of our teachers? What sort of a training are they having? Is their training continuous, and are you continuously evaluating them to ensure that they are making progress? Because not only students must make progress, teachers must be making progress.
Exactly. Yeah.
And do you have a rigorous and a robust evaluation system that feeds you information that can help you to make those decisions that will cause for us to have greater success at that level? Because greater success in the early years means that you go into primary school having sufficient literacy and numeracy to make progress. Yeah. And not only that, but in terms of even the general application of knowledge starts from very early. Are we exposing students to everyday life within the early childhood years, which helps them to make now application of the same knowledge that they're receiving to everyday problems? And then this is because science starts early. Numeracy and math, we know, start early, but science also starts quite early. So, it's about the exposure at that level and about the quality of the education that they're getting at that level that will allow for them to make greater progress. But if we're not securing that, we're going to find that it has a knock-on effect in primary school, and it has a further knock-on effect in the secondary system as well.
Yeah, because as you talk about evolving, because education has to change. And we need to stop react, because here's the thing. If everything is going digital, the early childhood, the digital application learning needs to start from there, because if you don't know how to turn on a computer until you reach grade 6, you're behind 6 years already, And as we said, the world is good. Listen, I live in America. I can't, almost every student I book and I talk to, they're doing computer engineer, they're doing cybersecurity. Ain't nobody talking about other stuff like this. One comes up more than anything else, because the lands, Google don't require you now to have a bachelor's degree. Google say, show me what you can do, and I'll employ you. You know what I mean? Because it's all digital. It's all digital. You're going to a warehouse now, everything is digital over here. Digital, and I'm sure you have the same thing in the UK. It's all digital. So the education landscape have to change.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, that, if you think about, your, what do you call those now? There's a particular name we call them. There's schools that are strictly academic.
Yeah.
They don't offer much, practical subjects. It's mostly academics that they offer.
Call them Ivy League over here.
You have very little to offer to students, really, when you think about it, because if all you're offering is academics, read, remember, test. That's not the world we're living in now. Because AI can produce all the information you need, so you don't really need to remember. But you need to be able to manipulate what you're getting. So critical thinking is what needs to drive what we're doing, because we need people who can think critically, who can solve problems, who can analyze. This is what we need to emphasize now. And so I always say to students, I don't know if that you're using the technology or if the technology is using you. Because when you don't have critical thinking, the technology is going to use you. And I always say, if it's free, you're the product.
Yeah. Yeah.
All that app is free. Sorry.
Yeah.
You are the product.
Yeah.
So you have to reach to a point where you begin to control this thing.
Yeah.
And this is where the emphasis is for me when I talk to students, wherever I meet them, I'm saying, you got the technology. There's a vast amount of information available to you. If you don't know how to use it, it's going to use you.
Yep.
And so we now, as teachers, have to ensure that we get students to think critically before they take up the device. They must be content generators. They must be able to analyze content.
Yeah.
And evaluate sources. Because these are the things that now you have to teach students to do.
Yeah.
They can make proper use of what is available. Because just giving it to them and say, oh, you need to learn to do this, learn to do this. No. You can learn at any stage. But we didn't grow up with it, but look at us now. We're using it now.
Oh, yeah.
That tells you
Yeah.
our success is not really based off it.
Yeah, true.
So that tells you that you don't really have to grow with it. What you need is knowledge of how to use
the
technology and how to apply it to problems, how to analyze your sources, how to evaluate the information, and how to acquire more information. And then once you can do this, hey, you take on any technology.
Let me ask you a question on a different tangent. Why teachers are migrating from Jamaica? You have been on both spectrums. I'll put it to you. Why does Astor Tate think?
No, well, you see, I think that question, you may find similarities in answers, but for the most part, it may vary why people leave. Because people leave for various reasons.
True.
But a number of persons will leave because of the economics.
That's what I was going to say. Let me give you an
example. That's a main driver, because what you earn in Jamaica as a teacher with your degree, you'd probably earn, I don't know about the US, but I know here you can earn 4 times that.
Because a friend of
mine. And if you think about it too, what you're earning, the increments that you get each year, really insignificant when you think about it. And this is the other thing that people don't realize. In Jamaica, you do not make that much career progression if you're a teacher. Think about it. How many persons who you know as teachers who went on to become principals? How many do you know personally who were teachers at any level, who you know that now is a principal?
Who? You're right. And I've been through a lot of teachers. I know a lot. And I know a lot of teachers.
Only one person who went with,
and they were vice principals. And they are vice principals.
You remember Kerry?
Kerry.
He died some years ago. I don't know if you remember Kerry. He was going to Spanish Town Comprehensive.
Oh, yeah, man. That's my close friend, Kerry White.
Good. So he became principal. But if you notice, you don't see that much movement. Even whilst you were in school, you did 5 years, and you don't see that much movement.
No, and there was no happen. There was
doesn't happen. Yeah, but the minute you move overseas, you see the progression almost instantly. Rapid progression.
Yeah.
So these are some of the things that are more attractive. And then with rapid progression, of course, there's a salary increase that comes with it. So, these are some of the things that's more attractive to teachers, I think, in Jamaica.
Yeah, because I have a friend, she has an MBA. She teaches a popular school in Portmore, and she came to the US, and the same house that she couldn't buy, she was able to buy the same house just a year here. Why is that?
But the thing is, we have to paint a balanced picture, because you know that in some states the cost of living is seriously high.
Yep.
And the salary has to match what's happening in the economics.
Yeah, but
Because if not, you're gonna be, even though you're earning 4 times what you were, you now have expenses that are significantly higher. But
true.
even with that,
Even
you still make a lot more and are
yeah,
able to do a lot more when you make that jump and you are in the right place.
yeah, because the person did that. She never had a car in Jamaica. She have a car here. She's able to pay daycare and still pay her rent here and still buy a house there.
By far, no, when I looked at it, I'm like, even with nothing, even with at the base level here, you are making 2-3 times what you were making in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And if you can be thrifty and
Yeah.
minimize your expenses, then you can really save a lot. So I'll say if you're a single person and you make the move, it can only be to your benefit. It can, and if you really decide to work, and you're not gonna allow anything to dissuade you, because listen, it's not gonna be easy. It's not a cakewalk. You're not just gonna come in and it's gonna be all rosy and free flowing, and it's not like that.
So stop right there. That's what I want to talk about now. Because we did a long monologue on education. What was it like though when you first entered into the UK? What were some of the things that did you travel to the UK before you migrated to the UK?
No,
Okay,
we did.
so what are some of the things that were amazed? Like for me, was the ethnicity. That was one.
Yeah.
Like my neighbor is from Macedonia.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, I asked him a lot of questions about
Yes,
Macedonia.
yes, yeah.
So that's one of the things I enjoy the most. I've met people here from Israel. I have friends from all over Brazil. You know what I mean? And stuff like
Yeah.
that. What was that like for you meeting all the different people from all different countries?
It wasn't, I
Because I
mean,
like to have conversations. So I ask them conversation.
okay. Well, I mean, here's the thing. You see, what my brother-in-law always said, that it's, when you come here, it's different from when you're in Jamaica.
100%.
When you are here and working,
Yeah.
you don't have that time.
Trust me, I
Tell
know.
you, I've
Trust
got relatives that if I'm not deliberate in seeing them, a year can go by and I don't see them, and they live in London.
Oh yeah.
Because when you're working, there's just not that time. And for us with the seasonal seasons and the
Yeah.
sunset earlier in the winter, you're not gonna hang around to have conversation like that. You go to work, it's dark. You come back home, it's dark. You just on the clock.
Yeah.
You just on the clock, and then when we get a break, you go relax. They get ready to go again. So, it's different like that. But for me, in terms of people, I've always been meeting people. That's one of the good things for me.
Yeah.
Always been meeting people over the years. I know. I think I've met a lot of people from all over the world. But
Yeah.
coming here, you really get close to a lot of different types of people. But because it's something I'm accustomed to, it wasn't really that much
Yeah.
something that would leave me in awe. And then as a fan of history and
Yeah.
anthropology and sociology, I'm familiar with a lot of cultures.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Really familiar with a lot of cultures. So it's not like I have a lot of questions to ask them, because there's so much I know already. So we can easily strike up a conversation. For me, I think the more fascinating things was, like how the society is structured and how things work.
Yeah. Talk to us about that.
In Jamaica now, in Jamaica, we're always late. We're always late. In Jamaica, we're always late for
Yeah.
everything. Here, the bus runs on time.
Yes.
The bus is going to come at 11 past 2. It's going to come at 11 past 2.
Yes.
not gonna come at 12 past 2.
And it not staying.
All right, if you got a meeting, the first thing I saw, if you have a Zoom meeting, sorry, I had a meeting, like early staff meeting, first staff meeting. If it says 8 o'clock, it starts at 8. It doesn't start at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. People are there waiting for 8. So as the clock turns over to 8, at 7:59 rolls into 8, they start.
Yes.
If you're gonna have a Zoom meeting, when it came to COVID, they wasn't gonna have a Zoom meeting. If it's 8, it's 8. So as 8 o'clock comes on, you hear the chairperson when the meeting starts.
Yes.
Everything works by time.
Yes.
And you're not given the luxury to be late. And I'm gonna be late. What do you mean by you're gonna be late? At what time will your arrival be?
Yes.
So, what's your ETA? Okay, you're running late. It's gonna be, okay, I should arrive in 20 minutes, in 23 minutes.
Yes.
So it's a different type of operation.
Yes. Yes.
So you have to get yourself geared towards that. So, this stop and chit chat and hey, what's going on? And no. When you're on the clock, you're on the clock. When you're on the go, you're on the go.
How many students you have in your class? Because that's one of the complaints about Jamaica. Teachers have a lot of students.
It can be from 16. I think the most I've ever had is 30. 30, no. I think I've had maybe 31.
That's not bad. Teachers
30.
in Jamaica are 44, 45.
I had it. William Dubai had 44 in a small classroom. These are things I've had before. It was nothing new to me.
And you deal with the heat in the summer.
William Dubai in the summer was cruel. When those kids coming after lunch, it is pandemonium. It is pandemonium. So I've seen it, man. I've seen it. But when you come here, you tend to find that the teacher-pupil ratio much smaller, and it's much more manageable. Much more manageable. And the number of students who would give you, a hard time, it's where I am at is a small amount. So you go some classes, you can say half the class giving you a hard time. For me, I don't find that. I find that, the smaller, you got a few people in the class who really give you a hard time, but you can manage them because it's nothing like, they're not terrible.
Yeah. Wow. What do you like about the school system? What are some of the advantages you have in terms of teaching over there, in terms of facility, the technology? How does it make your job easier?
All right. So for school now, you have, well, it depends. If you got a school, if you're in a private school, it's different from if you're in a public school. And even within a public school, are you an independent school, or are you part of what they call a multi-academy trust? So you have several multi-academy trusts. So these are like a group of schools. All right. And so if you've got a group of schools, they share resources. They have a set curriculum that they would follow. It's not a national curriculum, but you've got a bespoke curriculum for your trust, for your set of schools. So I'm with one of those schools that is a part of a multi-academy trust. So the opportunity to network with those are people across London, across various different schools is there. You think of resources, you have a tremendous amount of resources available to you. The simple thing that gets a lot of teachers from Jamaica is you can go print whatever you want, whenever you want. If you say that to a Jamaican teacher, they will understand. They will completely understand, because in Jamaica, you have to beg and beseech to get a worksheet printed. And you have to go get somebody to sign off that this can be printed. And you have to take this there to get it printed and ask someone to print it for you. And then they print, and then or you have a quota. You can't get any more than this number of pages. And then here, you got a department budget, but you got resources, man. You got resources. You know what I mean? Lessons from my school, we don't do lesson plans. Yeah. You do lessons are PowerPoints. So you do a PowerPoint. So you create a PowerPoint for your lesson. So each lesson is a PowerPoint. That's essentially your lesson plan.
Yeah.
Right. So you got your curriculum that you need to follow. and you design your lessons, and we've got a rubric that we follow. There's a template that we have to follow, and you got banks of resources because you got consultants in the federation who they create resources for you. So you just need to go and pick up. Maybe you need to adjust it. Maybe you need to take out something or add. But there's very little you need to create because there's so much already there for you. So access to resources is one of those things that it makes life so easy. The other thing for me is we get holidays.
Yeah.
A lot of breaks. So every 6 weeks we get a break. So I get at least 1 week off every 6 weeks.
Is this mandatory?
Yeah, in the UK, all schools.
Wow.
So
You're supposed to be laughing with that.
No, but summer, the only thing is that for summer is different for us because summer we get 6 weeks. So we go up until about the 21st of July.
Yeah.
So that by that time in the US, you're in the middle of holidays already.
Oh yeah, my boys them off from May.
Exactly.
And they go back October, August.
Right. So what we do have though is like every 6 weeks you get a week off. So we get that we call it half-term break. So by October I'm gonna get a week. And then I think I get 2 weeks in October. Then in December, we get another 2 weeks for the Christmas break. By February, we're getting another week. Easter get another 2 weeks. May get another week. So
this with salary?
Yeah, you're paid. Okay. You get paid every month just the same.
Okay. Also, over there is a monthly payment.
Yeah, man, you get paid by the month, just the same. So you get paid all year round.
Every year is 2 weeks.
Oh.
Everything here is 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks I get paid.
No, man, you get paid by the month here, man. So you get paid every month, right through the year.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you're saying then that the system, and here we go again, the system creates that environment. Do you think Jamaica have the wherewithal so that a teacher don't have to deal with 44 students? Why is not that being done? Because that's a complaint for teachers for years.
You have to understand, somebody will say, all right, I'm gonna digress, but I'm gonna come back full circle.
Yeah, go ahead.
People are saying, the gang situation in Jamaica can be dealt with.
Yes.
But we're not ready for that.
Yeah. Oh, I see where you're going.
So that tells you that the resource is there, the capacity is there to deal with this thing, but we're just not at the stage where we're ready to do the work that needs to be done. And this is the thing with politics. If you've got a democracy, you've got contending forces. And these contending forces are economic. Some of them are also military. And you must also consider the political forces at work. So you have to look at the contending that's going on here now for limited resources. All of these are contending for limited resources. And that's where the problem is, because where will the resource go? Yes, where will the resource go? So in Jamaica, if we wanted to, we could. We could have a situation where we increase we decrease the teacher-pupil ratio before teachers are leaving. Now teachers are leaving, which makes it even harder to fix the problem. So before the teachers started to leave in droves, they needed to have increased school capacity.
Yeah.
So that you got more classrooms, one. Ensure you got more teachers, two, or pay teachers more to make the profession more attractive.
Yeah.
So that you get a larger cadre of teachers coming in. You got the space for the classrooms. And that would have changed the scenario completely. But now, they have allowed it to carry on for so long without making the needed changes and investment. You reach a critical point now where teachers are leaving.
Yes.
But you now have to import teachers.
Oh my God, I saw that the other day.
Right. So, we don't pay attention to these things until it gets to the stage in which we are still reacting, still reacting, still reacting. From I was in the classroom, they needed to have done that. What they did to get people who teach math, you could get like a free pass to go do a degree to teach math. These are things that you needed to have done earlier. You needed to
Yeah.
have looked in the economy and see where do you want to position Jamaica and say,
Yeah.
okay, what we need to do then is to, all right, anyone who wants to teach science, anyone who wants to teach math, anyone who wants to teach computer science, we're going to allow you to go to university for free.
Yeah.
And you come back into this education system and you spend 5 years with us, and after that, you're free to go.
Yeah.
So, but that should have been before. They only started to do that when the crunch time came.
Yeah.
They were responding to the migration. No, and they implemented that plan. So, with the politics that we have, I don't see it changing, Kevin. I don't see it changing. I don't see it changing.
What's the future of the education system you see in Jamaica? The next 20 years. What is it that Astor Tate is saying? Because you were there and you have been on both sides as a student and as a
The thing is,
teacher.
I don't know where they are going and where they want to go.
Mhm.
And it comes back from you can't rise higher than the leadership. The followers can't rise higher than the leaders.
Mhm.
It's about where do you want to take the country? And these are the things that we keep saying. The education system will not be fixed until the government knows exactly where it wants to take the country.
Mhm.
Where do you want to take the
Mhm.
country will dictate what you're going to do with your education system, because that's
Mhm.
going to be your driving force, because
Mhm.
that's your human resource.
But I think they said, remember they had this thing called prosperity, what, 2030 years ago?
They're kidding around. They're
W-
kidding around. The same thing happens with our football. The same thing happens with our sport. You're looking at the human capital and it's not being developed properly
Yes.
because we don't know where we want to go.
Yes.
Only one that is really, really thriving is track and field,
Yes.
because they know you're preparing for Olympics. Olympics is every 4 years.
Years and World Championship, yeah.
Good. Every other 2 years or so.
But we know World Cup is every 4 years, though.
But the same mindset is not in the football fraternity. That's in the track fraternity.
Yes.
So and if we take the same to the education now, because look at it, the outcome from the sporting fraternity is go to the Olympics to medal.
Yes.
All that you require to get you to the Olympics to medal. So you start from primary champs, all these champs right up until you get ready for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But let's think about the country. Where do we want to take the country? And what we're going to do with the education system to get the type of outcomes that we want. Yes, what do we have? What are the resources that we have? What do we want to exploit? Yes. Are we going to make teaching Spanish mandatory because we are surrounded by Spanish countries? Is that something we want to look at? Yes.
Like I think
we have agriculture. Okay, fine. We have agriculture. Can we produce our own food? Can we produce our own food and reach to the point where we can export? Is that something you want to do? Because then we would roll that out in more schools.
Yes.
Is it that we're going to do? You went to Dintil, I went to Jose Marte for a while. What we saw in Dintil and Jose Marte, you'll never see in St. Jago.
Yes, true.
You see some of it in St. Catherine. But you come to Kingston, apart from Kingston Technical and some of these schools, you don't see a lot of these technical subjects.
No, not at all.
So then, where do we want to go? Or do we just leave it up to the schools to do whatever? Is it going to be one of the desires for us that we want more technically rounded students? Is that one of the things we want for the economy?
I think it's something they want, but they just don't know how to do it.
No, the how is there, Kevin. Go to Dintil and look at what Dintil is doing. Go to Jose Marte and look at the plan.
Yes.
It's here.
Yeah.
Jose Marte does this thing. You pick your vocation, and then it gives you a list of subjects that accompany that vocation.
Yeah, and that's all you focus on.
Anything right? So you don't need to do biology if you don't need it. If you're doing business administration, you don't need to, you do integrated science. You don't need to do science if it's not required.
Yes.
You're doing construction engineering, okay, you need to do physics, or maybe you just do integrated science and then you move on. You need
Yes.
cosmetology. What are the subjects that accompany cosmetology? You need home economics. What are the subjects that goes with home economics? You need
Yes.
technical drawing. That's how it is.
Yes.
You know, is this what we want?
Yes.
Or do we want more of this? And then let's make the investment in these
Yes.
things. Let's make the investment in these things. Let's look at the
Absolutely.
curriculum. Because this is the next thing. Does the curriculum produce the types of students that we need?
Yes.
Because if not, then you have to change it.
True.
If you don't know where you're going, then what you have it will take you anywhere and you are fine.
That's what my grandmother said. If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there.
Oh, that's what we have. That's
But
what we
let me
have.
ask you a question though. On a matter of point of country. So one of the epiphany for me why I decided to get out of the army, I realized that by myself, I couldn't buy a house that I want in Cayman Estate, right? They were going for like $12 million. And me by myself could not afford a house. That's what I was told. We have this thing which is called the NHT. Beautiful plan. The intent of it was great. Just like even the invent of processed food was a great idea in World War II. Food had to reach the men. You know what I mean? It can't go in a perishable format. It had to go in tins and stuff like that. Great idea, but no, they manipulate the whole thing and turn it into corruption and sickness and disease and all of these things. My question is that if it is, everybody that works must pay NHT, right? That's the rule. Once you have a job, you pay NHT, it come out of your salary. You don't have a choice. But a teacher, a police, forget about us. Let us even go lower. The guy where I work at the store, him cannot afford said house that the NHT is building. Now, may I analyze this thing and may I say, it is safe to say that probably the NHT inadvertently robbing these people. What's your take on that? And I use the word inadvertently because as I said, the intent of it was great.
You know, just like insurance, it looks like a scam.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like insurance, it looks like a scam.
Because
But
I don't mean to cut it, because the thing is that economics have changed.
yeah, man,
Inflation is out of bounds. You know what I mean? So how is it that I'm still paying for something that I
you
can
can't access.
never
You can't get the
access?
benefits from. It's terrible. And this is the thing with capitalism that you know you just have to just stay in the system and find a way around it until you can get out of it.
Yeah.
You know, my response to that really though, you know, is something that I've spoken about, but it's not something I think I've actioned yet, but something I want to action before I die. And this is the thing, Kevin. All of us grew up in, you know, we would say poorer condition, poorer circumstances. We weren't well off. We weren't wealthy.
Yeah.
But we grew up, we had enough.
Yeah.
We weren't dying for hunger. None of us were dying for hunger. Or if you were hungry for a little while, it wasn't for anything long. You had enough every day to keep you going. All of us had it. But here's the thing, what we looked at, Kevin. All of us, you hear what you said? They told you you couldn't afford it by yourself.
Yeah.
Why didn't you think of teaming up with some other people to get one? Because this is the thing I was saying some time ago, that we are programmed in a Western culture to
Hey,
be.
you know, that's how the Latinos do it here.
Listen to what I'm showing you now. We are programmed to be individualists. And if you think about it, Kevin, the community where we're from, can you imagine if all of us who went to school decided to start pool resources together? When we started to amass a little bit more, Even if we were to put $100 together
Mm-hmm.
and decide to put it into a venture,
Mm-hmm.
can you imagine what would happen from it?
No,
We don't need a lot of us, you know.
no, we don't need
Just
that.
think, just a couple of us from Point Hill School,
Yeah.
come down to where you live.
Yes.
If you get 10 of us, just put $100. Even if we say maybe for a month, all of us put $100 together.
Mm-hmm.
That's 1,000. Let's say you just use US. That's $1,000
Mm-hmm.
1 month.
That's 106, almost 160,000 Jamaican dollar.
Okay, if we do it for a year,
You do the maths. 160 times 12. You do the maths. We're talking nearly $2 million now. And we do it for 10 years. Talking about 20.
I wouldn't even go that far. I just want to show you that, Kevin, we have been duped into going it on our own.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad that we have reached this far now. We're almost 40 or thereabouts. And
Yeah.
we have started to do that.
Yeah.
But on our own, been trying to do these things.
By ourselves.
By ourselves, Kevin. If we had been taught from we were much younger,
Yeah.
to cooperate with each other economically, because sporting wise, we do it. We meet together and we play football weekly.
Yes.
We meet together and we eat.
Yes.
Eat together and have competitions. We do
Yeah.
all of these things together. But when it comes to economics, no.
We
You're gonna
could have acquired
You're gonna
proper.
be a soldier. Tata gonna be a soldier. Andre gonna work up school. I'm gonna do this. And you get on, you're gonna do whatever it is, and you do it on your own.
Yes. Yes.
And then you teach your child to do the same thing. And so guess what now? We will never, it's difficult. One of us might make it.
You know, I have a friend over here, is a white guy, and he was retiring, and he said to me, oh, I'm so proud of him son because his son I go buy him house. I say, what? He say, oh yeah, that's what we do. Money don't leave the family. My son buy my house and I still live here. Yeah. You know what I mean? Think about that.
Okay.
Think about that.
Okay.
Think about that.
The Asians who come here, some of the Indians who come here, you get 4, 5 of them and they live in one house.
Yes.
And they put the money and they buy one house and they say you go get that house. And then the other 3 now, they go pull money together again and they get a next house. And then they go, and then the one more goes, and they keep going until every one of those families have a home. These people think different. You see the Chinese come to Jamaica and you say, oh, you know how many of them are living up there? You know how many are living up there? Yeah?
Yes.
Look at the income they generate by staying together. But we don't like that. We go it by ourselves and we try to do it. And guess what? We tell our children that they must make it on their own.
Yeah.
How many parents gonna get they're gonna buy car, house, and give to their child? Not many black parents that we know doing that. Some will, but not many doing it. They tell you by 18, they make sure you go school.
Yes.
And tell you to don't form a fool of yourself. Get your education.
Yes.
Get a job.
Yes.
Start to do these things.
But you see,
if you were to get that first apartment and they help you with the rent, if you were to get that first bed and they help you to get that bed, that's two. If you look at keeping the money within that family, what could happen over time? But we're not thinking like that.
Yeah. I want to talk about somebody that is important to our neighborhood, very prominent, and is your grandmother, Miss White.
Yeah.
Astor, she is like a legend in her own right. She pushed that cart and sold from downtown to uptown Point Hill. What was that like for you, seeing your grandmother?
All right.
She had shop. She had sell on the road, push on the road.
Your grandmother. How I know your grandmother?
Yes.
Because my grandmother.
Yeah,
because
she had to stop down there.
Always come down to Miss Whiteley and we have to take the grip and open it up. And Miss White, let's see what you want. This was before she moved to live close to you.
Yes,
She
yeah,
was
because she used to live up top.
yeah, no, before she came from her own retirement, she was in retirement in the woods. When you
Yeah,
leave Morrison and go around, that's where it was
yeah,
first.
because it was Miss Seda
Yes.
and Miss
Good.
White.
Yes, you remember well now. Good.
Yeah, but
History
your
stuff.
grandmother was a
Those who don't
popular.
know.
Your grandmother was a popular one.
Yes.
Yes, of the two, she used to be,
Yeah.
and we used to her more,
Yes.
So she was there, then she went by Wiki, Andre.
Yes, then she went up. Yeah. So there was an incident and then she moved out and went up there up to Point Hill. And then yeah, just before you get to Crossroad, no. She was just across from Mr. Duane, just across from Mr. Block, where the police station is now. She
She
was
was
there for a short while.
oh, I don't
Yes,
remember that.
yes, she lived there for a short while. We were
Yeah.
there for a short while. We got yeah, we're just next door to Andre. She was there as well.
I knew, I
John
remember.
was there. John was there before.
Yes, yeah, John was
My
there.
Uncle John was there before, and then she came there. But yeah, she was up by just across from Mr. Block as well. And then coming down. But yeah, listen, man. There are people who would help with the cart. And this is the thing, this is the genius about her,
Yeah.
He would travel to Kingston. I managed to do it once. I remember vividly going with her 1 December to Kingston. So she would get the clipper in the morning, that bus.
Clipper bus.
Come on now.
People, if we now watch, remember the Clipper bus.
Yeah. So she would go to Kingston, go downtown Kingston and go shopping. And she'd purchase items that she wants to resell. But there are also requests. So people would come with a request that I need a shoe, a size 11 shoes to go back to school, or something to go to work, or somebody needs a dress. And she would go to Kingston, purchase all of these things. And she became so close with some of these different higglers as well, And
Yeah.
even some of these cart men that, weekly when she came, she would go to these particular people. Even there's a store called Pennies. She could leave her stuff in Pennies and go elsewhere and come back. So she left me there at one point to go around and pick up some other items, I remember I had to take this huge bag on my head. We had so much stuff to carry. Yeah. Then we'd come back to the bus station and get the bus to come back up. So she'd come back up with all of these. And in the week she'd go out, Friday she'd be out on the streets selling. And then on Sunday was another big day for her again, where she would go all the way around Pusey. So that's the Sunday now that we would come by, pass by your house, then go all the way down to Rowan River, come all the way around Pusey, come back right around. So she was doing all of this. She was, I don't want to say a phenomenal.
Astor, and
phenomenal woman.
Astor them time that the Pusey Road, bad, And
Listen,
she
man.
had pushed the cart on it in a bridging.
One of the things I look at now, I was saying when I did when I did my piece for the funeral, I was saying to them that she's one of the only women I know from Point Hill who was able to do 2 houses.
By selling.
Yes.
And all of that income is from her pushing her cart and selling and blowing her whistle.
When I said this woman she's an entrepreneur. She's one of those pioneering entrepreneurs from Point Hill. A lot of people probably
I think she has the best story because yes, you could put Mr. Black in it, but Mr. Black thing never was a struggle thing. At least we never saw it as struggle.
Yeah.
When we came and saw Mr. Black, we just said, yeah, that's a one of the. But we saw your grandmother from the grassroots pushing that anchor.
And if you know where she was, or if you know where they were living in the retirement, way around in the woods.
Oh my God.
From around
I
there.
wish
you look at that road.
Yeah.
I wish we had pictures of the cart. Because sometimes I wish we had pictures of that cart on the road for people to see where. I think whenever I come back, I want to do a little tour to go around there and take some videos and show people where she would leave from.
Yeah. So our legacy can live on because we can never ever forget. I remember when she would put on her shoes and my grandmother I go buy. It feels so good, and she always I give a discount. Miss Alice just give me this. Miss
Yes.
Alice just give me that.
Okay, you talk about the discounts now. This is one of the other things we have to look at that a lot of people don't see how she contributed to the economy of the community.
Yeah.
People who were getting weekly, fortnightly pay, and you wanted a particular shoes, even to go to work.
Yeah.
You never had enough money. Sometimes you had no money, you could come to Miss White and you say, Miss Ruby, when I get paid next week, I will come and give you something on it. But I want a size 10.5 shoes.
Yeah.
Miss Ruby will go and get the shoe for you, make sure it fits, and you go with the shoe and she put your name down. And every time you get paid, you come in and you say, Miss Ruby, I'm going to give you 200. And how much may balance you?
Yeah.
And you do the math, and okay, you owe 1,200 now. And you come again and you give another two, and you say, Miss Ruby, I have a little thing for you here. And little by little you can pay. Yeah? You pay until you completely paid off your bill. So this is something that she was doing all throughout the years. I remember those books that she would have with people's name written down for the different stuff that they would take on credit, and slowly they were able to pay for those things over time. You name it, she would have it.
And then
bags, books, shoes.
hockey, we get I buy
uniform.
Yeah, uniform from Miss White. But what amazed me is like looking back is how she had to push in the sun, Virgin.
Yep.
Non-stop.
But
And
not only that, she employed people to push.
yeah. And when she built that house, lovely house, it was one of the biggest house in the neighborhood when it came by beside us. She put a shop on it.
Yes, man.
And put her husband in the shop. And she gone a road same way.
Of course. Listen, man, a lot of things I learned was from right there in the shop too. Because she put me there and she paid me to work. As much as I was grandson, she paid me to work.
She knew the importance of entrepreneurship in her own little way.
Of course. It's so many valuable lessons from it, man. So many valuable lessons from it, man. Just know that I'm saying I wish I had the opportunity to like sit down and interview her and capture all of these moments, because
she's a legend in her own right.
I tell you, man.
She's a legend in her own right, Bridget. She's one of the pioneers. Nobody can ever, anybody in our era knows that Miss White.
And from as far as Junction all the way down to the Roaring River, all of Puget. One person everybody knows. You know two persons. You know Mr. Black.
Yes.
And Mr. Dwayne, and you know Miss White.
Yes.
And the rest would know my father because of the cutting of lumber.
Yes.
People, everyone in the community knows, and everybody knows what's his name? We used to call him Grassy, who drives
yes.
Mr. Angus.
Mr. Angus, yes. But nobody a legend like Miss White Virgin, because we can never forget that. It's like, and there you go. She found a way how to build 2 houses. No high school. No college degree.
No.
And send our kids to school.
Of course.
And our grandkids them.
Of course.
Just that she have more money than everybody in our family. You understand that?
Listen, man. One of the things I tell people is when I get on a stage as an adult, I recognize something even with my mother. Because my mother went to a private school. She went to a private high school because my mother went to Willowdene at the time.
Oh, yeah.
That's a private school.
Still is, yeah.
Good. So she was able to send one of her children to private school.
Wow.
From what she was doing.
Yeah. Oh, is mommy, by the way?
She's great, man. She's great, man. Great. I talk about her. I was having a conversation with her Sunday, She's the person, when you talk about spiritual inspiration, she's the person who I listen to because she's always studying. She's the person who I think inspired me to always be studying, always be reading, because she's an avid reader.
Yeah, yeah,
Her
yeah.
conversations are always next level.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, she's really doing well.
Miss Nurse and Daddy.
Yeah, man, he's good, man. He's good.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
good.
Renee.
Yeah. Everybody's doing well.
Yeah.
Everybody, yeah, Renee is here as well.
Oh, she's here too?
Yeah, man, Renee is here, man.
Wow. I never knew, man. Bless up, man. That's good. That's
Yeah,
good. You know,
man.
looking
All
back
right.
at the journey, looking
Listen,
back
man.
at the journey where we have come from, even if we don't do nothing else, we can say we make it.
Listen, man. Kevin, you know where we are, you know where we're all coming from. Because we all grew up in the same little
Yes.
space.
Yeah.
We all grew up in the same little space, and we see each other every day.
Every day.
From primary school to high school. It's
Yeah.
an everyday thing.
It's an everyday thing. Saturday, Sunday, everyday
You name
thing.
it.
Non-stop.
You know it.
Obviously,
To see where we're coming from and to see us here now. And the good thing is too, we know the value of a Christian upbringing.
100%.
What we are now.
Yeah, we are.
It's not something that we just came into as adults. It's
Yes.
something that was with us from we were children.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because I don't know none of us that involved in gang or, just look at us. Everybody just soaring and God is the greatest.
And everybody claim that there's none of us who who
Yeah.
don't claim God.
Exactly. 100%.
I don't know anybody who grew up with us that, is an atheist or is anti-God.
Yeah.
Even if they don't go to church.
Yeah.
That recognition of the
Because
supreme.
that is the principle what we grew up on. You know what I mean? Keep us out of trouble and stuff like that. Wow. Anything else you want to say, big man? Because we're out of time now, But
hey, listen, man, we need to have that meetup, man, with all of us. And I think you should try to get Sekou on it as well,
No, me and him talk already, Me and him talk already.
We need to get all of us who would have been traveling together.
Yes.
To Spanish Town. Because listen, man, there's a lot to talk about, And I'm sure when people hear this now, they're just gonna start to remember some things.
A lot to talk about.
Just remember, all of us grew up in the country. Remember, we started to travel to Spanish Town.
Oh my God.
It was an experience.
I remember the first time getting on the bus to go to a fight for your window seat,
There's so much there, Kevin. There's a time in Spanish Town. Hey, we talk about the people who would come back to visit.
Oh my God.
Yeah, all of those foreigners would come down and we'd be there with them all summer. And we'd be playing. Hey, I don't know if you remember one time we actually played Gun War before the team built anything there.
Oh yes.
Gun War behind there,
Oh yes.
Quite grown,
Yes.
Even gigs was a part of it,
Yes. Wow.
All of us, man. We discovered we went all through the back of that house behind the Thomas is going all the way down, man.
Yeah.
And we had so much fun, man.
Yeah, man.
As I see you, every time I remember us playing basketball and doing Prince.
Oh my God.
Play with us as well.
Him up there with you?
Yeah, I know, man.
Yeah, we talk. Yeah. Yeah.
We used to play football on the road. Sometimes we play on the side. Listen, man, there's just so much history there, man. So much fun memories.
And we were all happy. We never had a lot, but we were all happy.
And we weren't, the good thing too, we weren't fussing and fighting each other.
No.
Just remember that.
No.
All of us were growing up with all of the competitiveness and all of the sports that we played. There was no fighting amongst us.
None at all. None at all.
We never had that. There's no disagreement. There's no malicing. There's no nothing like that. And we were playing competitive sports all the time.
Hard. Yes. No, it's a great feeling, man. Me know we here on him way to the Canada. Me just happy for everybody, you know. Me just happy for every single person. Me and Damien, what day we there in New York together. We come on, yeah, uncle's 70th birthday, you know. He might do well, he might be more business at Canada, straight construction, the man there.
I mean, BK.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Might be more a business, man. It might be nice house, two you, them married and good, everybody good. You know? Everybody good.
And then thing that too, Andre doing it as well over that side as well, isn't it?
Yeah, man, me and him talk all the while, the music. A matter of fact, I go put him song for start my podcast. Him have a song called As a Country Boy from Point Hill. Would I know would I make an impression like this? You know what I mean? The song just touched me every time I play that song there. Yeah, man. It might do well, man.
Look at place space we come from. We come from a very prosperous space. I mean, it's not economically prosperous, but culturally rich. We had a lot.
Yeah.
We had a
I tell
lot.
people I am a rich man because of my upbringings.
Of course.
It's not about wealth. I'm a rich,
When we sit and talk about what we used to do now,
yeah.
you can't pay for that now.
No.
Tourists actually would pay to go have those type of experiences that we had growing up.
Priceless.
Yeah.
Priceless.
Not there anymore.
It's priceless, man. Very, very, very. Oh, you managed the cold of England, man, the first winter.
Boy, that first winter was listen, man. But the thing is, if this is the thing about knowledge. Is if when you know you can act. When you know you can act, when you don't know, that's the problem.
Yeah.
So, if you come and you haven't got people to tell you what to do, then you're gonna be in problems. I had my sister and my brother-in-law who would explain things to me and give me tips on what to do and what not to do. So
Renee came up before you.
Yeah, man, she was here before me, man. She was here years before me. So this is the thing though. If you don't have a mindset to adjust to what's going on, you're gonna be depressed. Because I've met people who are depressed, who are stressed, who I saw a lady crying.
There's a story about that in the US. There's a story about that in the US.
Listen, when you get here, I came in August. It was really warm, really warm. I wore a t-shirt. My sister said to me, take a jacket with you because in the evening the temperature is gonna fall quickly.
Yep.
I didn't take it as anything. I left it.
Yep.
And then by the time it got about 7, the temperature dropped. I was like, it's a little bit cool here now.
Yeah.
But September is fine. But when you get to October, you realize, okay, the day is getting shorter. I just came home one evening and it was fine. When I look at about 5 p.m., it was fine. Then by the Friday, by 5 p.m., it was getting dark.
Yep.
What's going on here?
You're wondering, what is this?
So now, if you think about it, it's going to be dark from November. You're getting dark all the way until about March. You're going to have very short days. It's going to be cold. It's going to be wet. Because it rains here almost daily.
I know.
So you don't leave your house without a coat. You don't leave out without an umbrella because you expect rain every day in England. Doesn't matter what is going on.
That's the thing though, Astor. The quality of life is better in Jamaica, but it's the economics why we still have to leave.
That's the problem. Yeah, so the thing is, because for winter is really rough to deal with if you're from the islands. It's really rough because it's cold 24/7. It's always wet.
Where I live, they call it the Windy City in Illinois. This breeze isn't anything normal in the winter.
Jesus.
Because of the lake.
Oh.
Because of the lake.
Here, because where I live in South London, The wind here isn't normal. When it's windy on a windy day, it can move people.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So you have that to contend, but that's not so often. The main thing is the rain and the cold during winter, and then it's dark. So a lot of people get stressed over it because it's just like you go to work in the dark, you come home in the dark, it's wet, it's cold, and it's like you get very little sun, and it messes with the mind. If you're not a strong person, you can really go into a spiral of depression over it. But for me, it wasn't an issue. I knew what it was gonna be like.
Yeah.
I just get going, and
Where you come from?
I must say this. You know me, I'm always running.
Yes.
I've always been running, and it's something I'm doing I even run now more than ever before. So it doesn't matter the temperature.
Yes.
Gearing up.
After run, you will get warm. I went running this morning myself.
Yes.
And
That's something that I always do, and that's something I want to encourage. And even when I go back down, I don't know who I'm gonna see, but I'm gonna get a couple of the guys, and we have to go for a run, man. Because this is something that for me, for our mental health, it's important, especially for us men. We need to make sure that we're doing these things to keep our bodies in tune, keep our minds healthy. Because if not, no matter how strong you think your body is, if your mind isn't fit, it will waste away your body as well.
Man. And with that note, may I tell you, Bridget, it was an honor to talk to you. You know how long more I want to talk to you? But the timing.
Never the best time, because once I go back to school, it's hard for you to get me.
Yeah.
You'd have to get me like on a half-term break. And then half-term breaks is for me and my son, so we're normally gone. We're normally out and about. So it's hard.
A good time we get you, because I think I'm going to have Sammy next, Samora.
You need to have him.
Captain.
Hey, that's my guy, man.
We
really need a reunion with all of us, man.
We set up for the 24th. We're having. That's all right. This weekend, something like that. Yeah.
As I said, still talk to Andre, talk to Gatti, and I would love for you to have.
It has happened.
We have. Well, every time I think about it, but we have had some crappy times.
True, man. It's a good thing we had those times. So we have to look back and reflect and laugh about some of these guys now. They don't have that because they probably would remember playing a lot of video games together, but
you can't remember that.
we are Thief Orange, we are Thief Tangerine, we are Cut Kid.
You
know what I mean?
Run home. Run all the way home.
Run home. And I mean,
you guys don't know these things.
Rain or fall, where I come from school, we take off with shoes and water. I mean, I tell you, it was something, man. It was something.
Hold on. Your bag can get wet. You have to take off the shoes.
You have to take off the shoes. Yeah. It was a joy growing up, man. Me enjoy looking back, man. Enjoy everything, man.
I went on a march Sunday.
I suppose that
on a march Sunday because it's about
crime.
Knife crime is big in the UK.
Saw it.
A lot of youngsters getting stabbed, and there's a lot of them involved in stabbing people as well. So we went on a march Sunday, just to show solidarity and to show that as a church, we stand against this kind of behavior within our society, and we really want to encourage young people to find alternatives to handling their disagreements rather than resorting to the knife. But what was coming back into my mind was a march that we used to have in Point Hill in Ducks.
Elder Good.
Do you remember it, Kevin?
Don't you hear me quote his name? Elder Good.
That all along the street, it's just coming back to me. How you would have this march, this yearly march with all of us as kids.
Yeah.
And he would give away all of these books and pencils and stuff.
Which is something I'm working on now. Well, I do it for my school, dental.
Okay.
Yeah, for the less fortunate student. Yeah. But it's something that I want we should come together and do on a big scale. Because I mean, once a year, everybody get $100. Like about 30 with the up here, whole heap of money I talk about. over 300,000 Jamaican dollar easy.
We can do that, man. We can definitely do that.
Yeah,
I'm all for it. I'm
we
all
just
for it.
fly down, who can fly down, and we just do it and mix and mingle with them. And you know what I mean?
We need
No
to.
student from Point Hill cannot pay for their CXC, and we the up here. I know the importance of education. You know what I mean? Because all it is, one of my friend highlighted something that he must said it take a serious movement, but it as something him say can be done. Him say if we come together in the diaspora, Canada, UK, and America, and said we are taking on a 10-year project and we're gonna pay off with country debt. Everybody just give $50 every month. And when you think about it, when we do the maths, it move the debt, eradicate the debt after 10 years, But you can't do this with these people because you can't trust them. Because from where you live, why who can't running water pipe over pipe?
No. I don't even want to go there, because that's gonna be, we have to go have another
That's
podcast.
another topic for another day.
That's
But
another podcast, because I've personally reached out to the MP.
yeah,
I've personally reached out to him, messaged him more than once on the issue.
did he reply?
Yes. All right. So one of the guys was a friend of mine too, who was now coming in, who was going to be dealing with it, and he died. A JLP counselor guy who died in an accident. Was it accident or heart attack he had? I think he had a heart attack. So it's something I've been pressing and lobbying for years. It's not now it's not last year I emailed or messaged Dr. Tufton. Months and years ago I have done this. And nothing has been done about it. Every time I speak with my mom and she's saying to me that they haven't had water for how long, I get on the phone and I try to reach out to Dr. Tufton to say, what is the situation? What's going to be done? Because it is ridiculous that I am now almost 40 years old and my mom is over 60 and we have not had consistent running water and we have access to water. Is it that and the capacity has not grown? We don't have a functioning pump. Why can't we have a functioning pump?
For years, the pump breakdown as a kid.
Every time.
You hear that the pump breakdown. What is that?
You mean that we can't get funding to purchase a proper pump to put in place? We have not expanded the capacity of water, and let's leave that as is. But you can get a proper pump.
But what I'm saying, they come to America all the while, come beg. Why them going to beg a pump? a lobby a group. You have groups in the UK and Canada and US.
Just giving them free.
They do these things free and them come down and do it.
Listen, man, things. I just leave it, Kevin, because I'm just like, politics in Jamaica, I've had enough of it.
Yeah.
So we do what we do now to say we can get together and see what we can do for some of the students. I'm willing to jump on board with that.
That's where we're definitely on.
That's where we can really make an impact. We have to leave the politicians to do the politics.
Yes.
We are community people. We are from the community. Let's do what we know the community will benefit from.
Yeah. All right, big man. Give thanks, man. It was a pleasure to talk to you, man. Trust me, it was. We're going to get that. We're going to get that one done. We're going to get that one done. We're going to definitely get one. It was good to see you look just the same. The man age at all. I tell you.
I think we need to get some pictures of all of us from when we were young and look at it.
Man,
we need a proper reunion. Need a proper reunion.
All
of us. All of us to come together. It's just that when we get to Jamaica, we haven't got all of us in the same place at the same time.
But it will come. It will come. It will come. All right, we're gonna leave it right there. So for today, my God.
Yes.
My God, it was a joy to have you, man. It was a joy to have you. People, please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe on the channel. And that's it for today. On this episode of My Journey to America. Astor, you're the man.
No, man. We are the people, man.
Okay. All right. God bless. We talk. All right.
Yeah, man. All right. So tell me something now.
Yeah.
Is it you you're gonna chop this up and then publish.
Yeah, yeah, man, I go give it to the editor. She go do her thing. You need something special done?
No. I just want to know, what's the
Yeah,
process?
man, she go do her thing to it, and what she normally do some like 5 clips of talking points. Probably I'll give her them, and
Okay.
those drop like first week, second week, third week, and probably the fourth week now we drop the entire video. I just send you the YouTube channel. We have some fantastic stories on it so far, you know.
Okay, so it's YouTube that
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I'm gonna send it. The channel is called My Journey to America. I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah,
Tara,
man, send it to me. But the
yeah.
thing is, if you put on Facebook, I might not see it because I don't go in so often. You see, when you message me, it's really I go into Facebook and I don't have it on my phone.
Yeah.
So if you
You're going to
message,
see it on YouTube.
okay, yeah, man.
You
Want to
do,
send?
you do Instagram?
Yeah, man.
You're going to see it on Instagram too.
Okay.
Send me an Instagram link to your phone, because I always tag the person in the interview. Yeah.
I'm gonna send you my Instagram link, man, and then you
Yeah,
can.
man, 100%. Let me ask you a question. This now going up on the podcast. What do you
Yeah,
think
man.
of Vibes Cartel getting out of prison?
As I open the Instagram is in my seat,
Boy, him no left no space on it for me and you. May I tell you?
No,
From
hear
the
the thing now. Hear the thing now, Kevin.
yeah.
But him now. And what got me sort of concerned is that we are celebrating someone who got away because of
Technicality.
technicalities. So it's not that there was evidence that led to him, getting off the case.
No.
He got off because of a technicality.
Mm.
Right? And to show you how serious it is, the bribing of the jury is done twice. It's not one. It's twice it was done.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells you how serious they were trying to get him off this thing.
Yeah.
It tells you, therefore, that all the other evidence that was there, no matter what the issue is with the evidence, there was enough evidence to lock him away for a lifetime. The fact that he got off with a technicality and people are celebrating, I said something is wrong with us.
Yeah. And guess what? If I want to send you to prison, why would I take your phone and tamper with it? It has to be the tampering was coming in support of it, was deliberately.
How else would it go then?
It has been deliberately done. And jury, the common man can't find $500,000 Jamaica. I mean, I ask you that. If you go bribe somebody, if you give it. Twice. So who him come by the money? You see me say, so
I would even go there, given the fact is there was enough evidence.
to me, the man.
Yeah. There was enough evidence. But still, God take him out at the time him take him out. And him come back now. I don't know what's gonna happen now. But as I said at the time, I did tell him, that him go down, because I hear him make a speech to Anthony, the guy, the entertainment guy. When him ask him about the young people who are listening to the music and how it impacting them, and him say he's not responsible for that.
Yeah, say it again.
It's the parents.
Yeah.
So when him say that, Kevin, me say, you see, you know, my youth, you know the power of influence, but you not take no responsibility for what accrues, any consequence of the influence where you exert on the youth. And so somebody like you would have to get rid of. Because you know, mean the youth them no good. You tend to make money off the demise of the culture. And that means that the divine power have to take you out of circle. And that's, say, Kevin, can you imagine if he were out? Think about how Jamaica has changed in the last 13 years. Can you imagine where he had them? Because remember now, him have them a bleach and start tattoo now. That's where he left them. He made bleaching popularized and accepted like a normal thing, like how you wash your face, like how you cut your beard, bleaching becomes accepted
style.
like him. bleaching and tattoo because of him. Now
Yeah.
imagine him plus scamming and them. What would be next?
Him are the first man we do a song when say big up every scammer when make US dollar.
Okay.
Him do that from him got prison, before him got prison.
Between me and you, Kevin, me I wonder what next this man would do, you know. What was the next level of evil for him to take on? That was my question to them.
All me I said to him, said, him better be careful. When him talk about him, I go sue. Him better know what him I do.
If him fool around, man, he might in a trouble.
Yeah.
But as I said, the system of a way to correct itself. That's one of the things I've recognized over the years. And if you study history, you know, the system of a way to correct itself. So no evil power has been allowed to go beyond a certain limit.
True. True.
Napoleon, Adolf Hitler, you name them. No evil power has been allowed to go beyond a certain limit. So
True.
it can only carry on for a time. Because when the divine system straighten up and move him, we won't even know how it happened. See, that's why I say, you saw him get to prison, nobody know how him get to prison. With all of them claiming that the evidence was tampered with and what happened, he ended up in prison for 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I said the system will correct itself, so I'm not worried about him.
Yeah. All right, big man, I go run.
Yes, my general, take it easy. Tell everybody
Nice
hello.
talking to you.
Yeah,
I
big up
hope
your father too, you know, because I see him sit there up there, you know.
Yeah,
Father,
man.
you know.
Yeah, man, him the day I was there. Him I come here about December for his birthday again, man. I send for him the day, man.
Oh, the school, man. Big
Yeah,
up
man.
the people, man. Big up your sister as well, you know.
Yeah, man, everybody good, man. I hope you win this year, no, Bridget.
Boy,
Me about 4 more years before me start compete again at a high level.
or you gauge that? You're looking at what you have, or you're looking at what you're going to get?
Me I look upon where me have and where me I go get. We're going to get rid of some of the old man them. You know, me get rid of one Basanka, which is good. You know, him cannot go forward as good as a defender every time the attack come.
I was about to say that, yeah.
If
I was
the
about to
attack
say
come
that.
on the right-hand side,
He's a solid defender, yeah.
he's a solid defender. Him have telescopic legs, but as long as the attack, him have in attack, forget it. 99% of the time, him turn back the ball, and 99% of the time, he cannot make the 1-2 play. Him just don't have it to make the 1-2 play.
Yeah, he's not an attacking wing back at all.
That's why you see Dallas did a start for him most of the time. And then get rid of him in Ghana West. Like that.
But that's one, as I said, that's one my team. The thing is, as I said, we need more consistency. And when you think about it still, you know, you have to be perfect. If you go beat
in our Premier League,
you can't, not even consistent you can't be right now. Because Arsenal consistent last year. You have to be perfect.
Yes, you have to be.
And I said to somebody, say, if you're gonna win this Premier League, you cannot lose more than 3 games for the season. I tell them, if you lose 4 games, you cannot win the league. I tell him last year, I said if you lose 5 games, forget the season. You cannot win with 5 games.
Catch up back. Know it out of your power. A whole heap of things have to work in your favor.
Edging. I say if you lose 5, no matter when you want to lose the 5 game, as long as you lose 5 games in this English league here, you cannot win. I say that I see him say go on Spain, you know. Madrid and Barca were going like that one time in a way. One last determine the season, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. If Madrid would just lose Classical one time, you know Barca win already.
Yeah.
So that's how we reach now. Yeah. Crazy, man. And then Liverpool renewed and come with a new coach and new ideas and some footballer go play. You watch all Chelsea. If him can't it'll take him a time. But if you're halfway through the season, you see this coach of Chelsea have, you see halfway through the season, remember me tell you, come January, I'm going to be a different team.
I wouldn't up again. I wouldn't get for them.
Enzo Maresca, the guy who used to work with Pep.
Oh. So Pep
So see like how you see like him having two students him have down here now.
Yeah.
You see how Arteta play football like that? Yeah. I see him thinking go do with Chelsea.
Yeah.
Them already start to play out from the back, even though them losing in the pre-game. But that is the idea already. So give time. He go be health. So me tell you say your coach have you go come good.
Well, make we say, me no say Sancho plays thing me no say me striker Alan, the white boy there. So
Come
we have a core of young players that me like, you know. But as me say, me I give myself 3 more years before we can compete at a high level. All right, big boss.